Hey there, you're watching the A.D.K Rock and Metal channel. I am Dave Does, and today I'm going to be taking you through the condensed history of the band that is Drain, STH. Now, in the mid-90s, the music world was drowning in flannel and angst, but while Seattle was the epicenter, something much heavier and more haunting was brewing 4,000 miles away in Stockholm, Sweden. They were four women who captured the sludge of Alice in Chains and the doom of Black Sabbath, wrapped it in a gothic Swedish chill, and delivered it with a precision that left critics stunned. They were Drain STH. Today we'll take a look back at the rise, the crushing sound, and the eventual disappearance of one of the most underrated bands of the alternative metal era. Formed in 1993, the band originally went by the simple name of Drain. The lineup was a powerhouse of technical skill with Maria on vocals, Flavia on guitar, Anna on bass, and Martina on drums. Unlike many of their contemporaries, Drain wasn't interested in the Riot Girl movement or the polished pop rock that was starting to dominate the charts. They wanted it heavy, they downtuned their guitars, embraced slow, churning tempos, and focused on vocal harmonies that felt both beautiful and unsettling. In 1996, Horror Wrestling was released. It was a revelation. Songs like I Don't Mind and Crack the Liar Smile showcased Maria's deep, sultry vocals, often compared to Lane Staley, but with a range and resonance all of her own. The production was thick and suffocating in the best possible way. Critics often described them as the female Alice in Chains, a label the band had a love-hate relationship with. While the comparison was a compliment to their talent, it often pigeonholed them. But the industry took notice. They weren't a gimmick band, they were a touring band. They spent the next 2 years on the road, eventually catching the eye of some of the very influential figures in the metal world. By the time they signed to MVG Records, they had to add the suffix STH, standing for Stockholm, to their name to avoid legal issues with an American band also named Drain. Now, Drain STH did what few European bands on their scale even managed. They conquered the US touring circuit. They landed a spot on Ozfest, playing to massive crowds alongside bands like Pantera and Black Sabbath. It was during this time that the band's trajectory took a legendary turn. They toured with Typo Negative, and their dark, atmospheric sound fit perfectly with Peter Steele's Drab 4. More importantly, they caught the ear of the riff lord himself. Tony Iommi, the Black Sabbath guitarist, became a massive supporter of the band. Now, this connection would eventually lead to Maria and Tony marrying in 1999, a true metal power couple. But before Maria stepped away from the spotlight, the band had one more masterpiece in them. In 1999, the band released their second album, Freaks of Nature. It was more polished, more melodic, but no less heavy. Tracks like End to My Mind and Simon Says showed a band that had grown more comfortable with their songwriting, and Tony Iommi even contributed to the track Black. Now, despite the critical acclaim and a loyal cult following, the internal gears were beginning to grind. The grueling schedule of the 90s music industry, combined with shifting personal priorities, began to take its toll. By the year 2000, the band officially called it quits. Martina retired from the music industry entirely to focus on her life with Iommi, and the other members continued in various projects. But the lightning in the bottle that was Drain STH could never quite be recaptured. So why does Drain STH matter today? In an era where female fronted is often used as a genre, even though it isn't, Drain STH was a band that demanded to be judged solely on their riffs and their atmosphere. They were heavy, they were unapologetic, and they influenced a generation of gothic and alternative metal bands that followed. They didn't need to scream to be heard, they just needed to turn up the bass and let the music speak for itself. So, what's your favourite Drain STH track? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of heavy metal music. If you'd like me to do an expanded history on Drain STH, please let me know in the comments, and also check out the interview we did with Anna, bassist from Drain STH, a year or so ago, for some more behind the scenes and untold histories. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.